Why you wouldn't last a day as a servant at Versailles. Picture yourself in the darkness before dawn. It is 4 in the morning, and while the royal chambers remain hushed in sleep, the servants of Versailles are already awake. Their world begins when the world of the nobility is still dreaming. For the lowest-ranking footmen and maids, the first hours are spent stoking fires. Though Versailles dazzled with its endless mirrors and windows, it was not a warm place. Drafts slipped through vast galleries, and winter mornings could be bitterly cold. Imagine carrying heavy bundles of wood through silent corridors. The only sound the echo of your own footsteps on marble. Soon, there are chamber pots to be emptied. Versailles was grand in appearance, but less sophisticated in plumbing. Hundreds of nobles lived within its walls, and the responsibility of disposing waste fell squarely on the shoulders of servants. The work was neither glamorous nor optional. It was done quickly, discreetly, and without complaint. By sunrise, the palace begins to stir. The king, Louis XIV, and later Louis XV and XVI, had carefully structured daily rituals that demanded perfect coordination. The lever du roi, the king's rising, was as much a ceremony as a personal act. Servants, valets, and attendants arranged the monarch's clothing, presented water for washing, and prepared the royal breakfast. Each movement was observed, each role assigned with rigid hierarchy. Imagine being a servant who had to know exactly how many steps back to take when bowing, or how to hold a piece of linen with precise formality. For those serving the nobility, daily work meant endless cleaning. Mirrors had to gleam, marble floors had to shine, and fabrics required careful beating to remove the ever-present dust of so many bodies moving through the halls. There were no vacuum cleaners, no detergents, only brushes, cloths, and muscle. The palace's beauty was an illusion crafted by hidden labor. The rhythm of the day was exhausting. Meals meant more than eating. They meant orchestrated performances. Food had to be carried through the palace in long processions. Dishes stacked high on silver trays, balancing hot sauces and delicate pastries without faltering. If you imagine yourself holding these trays, navigating crowded halls filled with courtiers in elaborate wigs and gowns, you begin to sense the strain. There was also no true privacy. Servants often lived in cramped, dim rooms tucked into the attics or hidden within the walls. The grandeur of Versailles ended at the gilded doors. Behind them, beds were narrow, blankets thin, and the air thick with the scent of too many bodies in too little space. To be a servant in Versailles was to live a life of invisibility. You were always present, but never meant to be seen. You rose before dawn, labored in silence, and went to bed long after the nobles had retired. Day after day, year after year, this was the rhythm, the quiet sacrifice that allowed Versailles to shine like the jewel of France. As you imagine yourself slipping through those corridors, carrying buckets of water, polishing mirrors, or bowing to a passing duke, you might realize that the palace's beauty was both breathtaking and unforgiving. Gilded ceilings meant little when your hands were raw and your body weary, and yet, for thousands of servants, this was life. The rhythm of footsteps on marble, the scrape of brushes on stone,